Hi there. Hi there, three people. So I've never talked about this before, so I guess I just kind of want to talk about this. I know it's crazy. It sounds even more crazy than what it kind of is, but yeah, I met a guy and he was living in his car, so technically he was homeless. Did I know he was living in a car when I met him? No, because, well, here's the thing. I know this is crazy, but I did a lot of crazy things when I was in my teen years and even in my like early 20s. I was about 20 years old at the time. I was still living with my grandparents at the time, and I had minimum wage jobs. I was basically just working at, oh, I don't know, I had like a job at Carl's Jr., I had a job at a donut shop, I had jobs like at different fast food restaurants, but normally my jobs would only last a couple weeks, maybe a month at the most. A lot of places would always fire me or just say that it wasn't working out or something. And yeah, so that was pretty much my situation with my money. And of course, I didn't have to pay rent because I was living at home at the time. But I had a little extra cash, so I wanted to go to this concert. There was this outdoor concert. It was like up off the, I don't know if anyone's familiar with the 215 freeway, but it's like way east of Los Angeles, out in San Bernardino County. There's something called the 215 freeway. You drive up over the mountain, but just before you get over the mountain where the high desert is, there's a place there. I forget the name of the area, but there's a little spot where they have a lot of outdoor concerts there. So I wanted to go. There's a lot of old bands playing. It was like, 60s stuff. And yeah, so wasn't Burning Man, but it was something similar. But it was just for one day. It was outdoors. So I went there by myself. I sat by myself. And the way I am, or was, or kind of still am, is that I always kind of like look for someone that I am attracted to. And I'm very like standoffish. Like I was like by myself, didn't want no one around me, wasn't smoking anything or anything, taking anything. I just was listening to the music and just kind of scouring around, going, where is there any cute guys here? And I was looking and looking and looking, and then I got really kind of sad because the show was almost over and I hadn't seen any cute guys. I'd walk around, kind of look around, any cute guys. I'd be thinking to myself, no, no, no cute guys. And then the show was over and I was really depressed, walking back to my car. And then I look, and there's this cute guy. He's all by himself. He's walking along and he's really cute. He looks a little grungy, but I like that. I like the grungy look. He's got long hair. He's got a beard. He's all grungy, but not like to the point of being like dirty grungy, just kind of grungy, a little kind of sexy grunginess going on. So I come up behind him and I look just to make sure. I want to make sure. And he did. He had a perfect nose, nice face, nice kind of small features, how I like, the same height as me. He was 5'8", perfect. I'm like, whoa, perfect, the perfect specimen. So I look at him and I go, hi, and he looks at me and he goes, hey, and then I'm like, I don't know what exactly. This is like back when I was like 20. I don't remember exactly what I said to him, but it was something to the extent of, you want to come have some fun with me or something like that. Do you need a ride? I forget exactly what I said, but whatever I said, he said, sure. He said, okay. And so we got in my car, drove back to my house where my grandparents, and they were very elderly. And I just pretty much had the run of the place anyway. I could do whatever I want. They didn't like bother me. My grandfather was a really severe alcoholic. He was drunk all the time anyway. He never even knew what was going on. My grandmother was elderly and frail and she didn't know anything. So No one cared, and he was there at the house with me. It was dark by this time, and yeah, I never questioned him about anything. I never asked him what he did for work. I never asked anything. It was just pretty much full on, let's do it, let's have sex. I didn't say it like that. It was just like some stuff, and I'm not big on kissing, but yeah, I don't remember. I don't. Maybe I never even kissed the guy, but we fondled each other and we did it, and then after that, the next morning, I'm thinking, I wonder if this guy has anywhere to go. So I think I must have said something like, "Where do you live?" By at that time, I must have been asking him questions like, "Where do you live?" Well, apparently, he lived in his car, and apparently, he's not steal steaks and eat them raw. Yeah, he actually was lucky, and he should have did better. And if he would have just stuck to working and saved up the money instead of just blowing it all on like pot or whatever, and then just stop working and then just spend. I don't know where all the money went. Really, I don't, because he never spent any of it on me. Oh, let's see. Well, I guess everyone's just talking to each other. Anyway, any questions before I go? I guess no one has really anything to ask. It's just too bad that I couldn't have found someone like Kurt Cobain. Like, he was like a bum. He looked kind of grungy, and at least he was talented. At least he could play guitar and make money. And yeah, but I never even knew about him because I did think he was hot, but I never even knew about him at the time. And at that time, that's probably when would have been the best time to come across someone like, you know, Nirvana or Kurt Cobain, because that's before he was famous even. And then I didn't even know about him until he was famous. And by that time, I'm sure there's no way I could even get near that guy because, people around him. Nope, never dated a black guy, never will. It's not my thing. Ew, that's disgusting. So I never like thought about using protection or anything because I'd been having sex since I was 13 and I never used any kind of protection. And again, I'd been having sex at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It took me 10 years of having sex, unprotected sex, before I even got pregnant. That's why I never even occurred that it would ever happen. Never thought about any of that stuff. Like I said, I thought was never going to happen. But it would have been nice to have found someone at least had some kind of motivation, and not some bum that just wanted to bum off me and use all my stuff and cheat on me. course I do. That's a stupid question. Why would I not use protection with my clients? They're clients, asshole. That's ridiculous. They're dirty, ugly clients. Fat, old, ugly. You don't know what they've been up to. This guy, he was only like 20 years old, the same age as me, and he wasn't like some old client. And I only became a sex worker after my child was, about 4, I believe. So 22, say 23, 24. I was about like 26 by the time I started doing sex work, nude modeling. I started doing nude modeling. So I have no idea. I probably would not date someone that's that young. It's only 20. To me, 27 is really young. Probably not, but I don't know. You're asking a really strange question because it's all about chemistry and it's all about life experience and it's all about a lot of other things other than just age is not like the end all. I don't see age as the number one thing. That's just retarded. Age is arbitrary as long as you're within like the legal confines of this retarded society that we live in. It's fucking. I mean, if society had it their way, pretty soon, next time you turn around, the age of consent's probably going to be something like 30 one of these days. I know some places in some countries, like in the Middle East, I believe it's like 21, but there women are forever infantile because they can never really give full consent anyway, ever. That's just stupid. I don't even think there should be an age of consent because consent is when you can speak. So, in other words, they're trying to put laws on when you can talk. Age of consent is retarded. It's the most retardedest law there ever was. And where did we ever get off on this topic when I'm trying to talk about my horrible luck, finding someone that I was finally attracted to after looking all fucking day long at the concert for someone I was attracted to. And the one guy there that I had any attraction to ended up to be a bum that didn't want to like better himself, even when I gave him every opportunity there possibly could be. And he still didn't do that. He still didn't take advantage of the opportunities that I gave him. No, I wasn't like offering him a job or anything, but back then there was lots of opportunities for jobs. I guess some people are just like that, is from what I can understand now. I never thought that he would be like that with me. I thought that as long as he had a place of free rent, he had free food. I figured, he had all the support he needed. I figured that that was all he needed, and then after that, he would work, make money, save up, buy his own car. Maybe he could move out and get his own place, get our own place, but he never did. And I guess, there's just some people that are like that. There's all kinds of people in this world. And I didn't think that at all back then, but now I realize because he's still a bum even today. Like, I would never call him, I would never want to talk to him, but I can always look for him on People Finder, and I can always see he never got married. He never got like his own business. He rents a room, and I can see all this, you know. He stayed with me until I had my child, and then I kicked him out. So about 3 years. Took like almost 2 years or 2 years for me to get pregnant. I had the child, and then after that, I kicked him out because I realized he was never gonna change. He was never gonna help me. He's not helping. He wasn't helping me or the child. He was just gonna bum off me, and I couldn't afford or to support both my child and him both. Like that's too much for one person to do, and I was on welfare at that time anyway. So I kicked him out. He didn't want to work. He didn't want to help anything. All he was doing is taking my car every night and cheating on me and going around seeing different girls, giving them my phone number because it was a landline. They'd call up the house asking for him. You know, what did he think was going to happen? Of course, I was going to kick him out after all that. Yep, he, from what I could find, he is still in. He's living out in the desert, actually, like out by Palm Springs. He rents a room out there. But like I said, I'll never call him. I'd never do that. I can just find him on People Search and see what's going on, and I don't need to call. I would never call him. That would be crazy. I'm not. And he's ugly now. He's not cute anymore. He's not 20 anymore. He's really old now, and he looks really ugly. And yeah, gross. I think he must have some kind of mental disability going on because I mean, why wouldn't you at 20 in your 20s be motivated to want to work, make money, get your own place, a car? I mean, it's like he didn't have the motivation, and he like wanted to buy pot all the time or whatever, speed sometimes, and then just go cheat on me. And it's like he had no motivation, plans for the future, and just crazy. No, he didn't like take any like crazy medications, but I'm sure like when you smoke pot, that's kind of like self-medicating. So he must have had something mental going on, but what, I don't know. Was he what? Vietnamese? No, he was a white guy. His mother had blonde hair, big tits. I don't know what his dad looked like, but he had light brown, long hair, 5 o'clock shadow, I guess the closest thing I could compare him to would be like a kind of like a Justin Bieber, only like shorter, like my height. I don't know how tall. I don't know, but yeah, with Justin Bieber with the 5 o'clock shadow and more a little more like a grungier look, I guess, than that. He wasn't clean or like cut like Justin Bieber or whatever, but that's as close as I could compare him to. Blue eyes, light brown hair, cute nose, cute face, nice kind of small features like me, same height as me, nice, well proportioned body, not too thin. He would go to the store and steal steaks and eat them raw. That's pretty much how he stayed healthy and living in his car. Is he would go steal steaks from the store and eat them raw in his car. I never ate raw steaks with him, but I watched him do it plenty of times. How old am I? I'm old now. I'm talking about shit that happened a long time ago. I would never do something like that now. That was crazy. I think everyone does things like when they're really like young in their late teens, early 20s. Everyone must do stuff that's crazy and stupid, but yeah, some some people probably still would, probably put up with this shit. There's a lot of people out there that put up with a lot of shit from their, boyfriends or husbands or whatever, but I don't put up with a lot of shit. So, I put up with too much already as it was. Like I said, I if you go back and watch the video, I had no idea he was living in his car when I met him. You have to go back and watch the video because I found him very, very cute. That's why. I didn't like say, "Oh, hi. Oh, are you living in your car?" It's like that's not something you ask people when you meet them. He didn't look like some guy living in his car. Like I said, he had a mom and he went and took showers there. He had other people that he would go and take shower at homes that he'd go take showers. I don't know who exactly, but he had a lot of girls. I mean, he'd go pick up a girl no problem. He was cute. Yep, homeless bums need love too, I guess so. I mean, he was only 20. A lot of people live in their cars nowadays. Back then it was more rare. It wasn't that common at all. I mean, he could always go back to his mother's apartment and, take a shower and stuff and then leave. I'm pretty sure that's what he probably did. But I met his mother once and I didn't really like her. Anyway, I guess nobody really has anything to say as usual. Now everybody's going to think that I'm into like homeless guys or guys that are bums or something, and here I am complaining about it, and everyone's saying, "Number or is 27 okay?" No, it's not okay. The only reason I put up with this shit for 2.5, 3 years was because I always thought he would change. I always thought he would get better, that he would want to get his own business going and get his own car and get his own place, and I always thought, I always give people the benefit of the doubt, but I've I realize now that people, however they are, that's how they are, and they usually won't change unless they absolutely have to, and even then they still may not even change because he's still a bum. Even though I kicked him out, he's still a bum. I mean, yeah, he might have a some kind of job. He might rent a room somewhere. He's not living in his car, but he's still a bum. You could tell. I mean, he still looks like a bum. I mean, he don't have no family or anything. If I could go back in time, back to then, I myself right now would be like, I'm sure a lot of people say this, but I'd be so well off right now that I would never have to work another day in my life if I didn't want to. But I'm sure a lot of people say that. But for me, it would have been so easy if I could just go back to then, because I had an inheritance that I totally lost, pretty much all of it. And if I would have known then what was going on with my aunt and how she was being swindled out of all her homes, all her rental income, if I would have known that was going on, like I know now what happened, but back then I didn't have a clue what was going on. If I could just go back in time to then, right now, I would never have to work another day in my life, and it wouldn't even matter if I had a bum for a husband or whatever. It would not even matter because I'd have all the money I could ever possibly ever even not even spend really. So maybe I was attracted to bums because I was supposed to inherit all that money. That often occurs to me that, yeah, because looks are important to me. At the time, I didn't really care that he was living in his car. I just thought that if I gave him a home, food, security, that he would change, but he didn't. But it shouldn't have mattered because I should have went and got my aunts under conservatorship sooner than I did, or I should have just went ahead and went over there and started just taking care of everything and kicked that guy off the property that was there, taking all her money. And I could have done that, and I could have got control over all the properties. And yeah, it would have been mine. I could have had it all signed over to me instead of some person that no one, this family thought was some friend who wasn't a friend, that ended up stealing everything from the whole family. Property that had been in our family for over 100 years. Anyway, I'm running out of things to say. No one really knows what to say. I don't blame you. What can you say? It is what it is. Whatever. Take care.